Yeah, g'day everyone, and welcome back to the Gold Coast Titans Frontline podcast. Dane here from Clarkey's Rugby League column, just sharing it all over social media. We are live and ready to go, guys. This will be a solo show today. Sorry, guys. Russ is unavailable. His wife had surgery today, so he's at home taking care of her, and I will hold down the fort. So very much relying on you guys to get involved with those live comments. Something went wrong with the Instagram, guys, so we're not live there, but we are live on the Gold Coast Titans Frontline YouTube and Clarkey's Rugby League column on Facebook. So let's jump straight into it, guys. Usually we would start with our grading of performance. So we fall to 17th on the NRL ladder. We have the worst for and against in the league now. It's clearly a bit of a tough time for the club. I think that's fair to say. But you know what? We weren't awful in this game. And what I mean by that is we were comfortably beaten and we were always a pace or two behind the Storm, but they're a top four side. And the Titans, we're clearly not a top four side. So I don't think we were absolutely awful in this game. I'll go a C-. I think it's probably as close to a fail as you could get just because we did really need to win. So perhaps a D+ is more appropriate, but I think we've shown some fight and there was some effort there in the team. And, you know, there was a few things that went against us refereeing-wise, so I won't be too harsh. I thought that it wasn't our best performance. It wasn't our worst. I'll go a C-. I will just give us a pass mark. Welcome in J-Lad from YouTube. He says, Casey Badger strikes again. Fortunately, when are we going to get some calls? And look, I agree with you, mate. Ultimately, we want to get to the stage where we're a football team that we don't really care if the referee decisions go against us. We're just good enough to back up. The reality is, though, we're not there yet. We're probably a little bit away from that, if I'm absolutely honest. So we do require calls to go away. The fact they're not does hurt, but I can't blame that one for the loss, J-Lad. I think we've got to look inwards, look where we can improve as the Titans. I've got a few more suggestions to throw out there today, but I must admit as well, man, that list is starting to run pretty short for me as well. Alrighty, guys, Titans news segment times. Keano Kinney, he has re-signed until the end of 2030. And for me, it's a really interesting one, this, because we couldn't quite afford to lose Keano Kinney, right? If he goes and signs with a rival club, that really hurts us as a club moving forward. So we're really glad as Titans fans that he has decided to make the Titans his long-term home. I suppose the only issue I see with it is now we have Jaden Campbell off contract at the end of next season and Brimson as well as Kinney locked in till the end of 2030. And it is just rare, unless you're the Melbourne Storm and they have depth everywhere, that two elite fullbacks are on the books. So it could hurt our salary cap in the future. And it does also leave Jaden Campbell as kind of the odd man out, right? If we get to the end of 2026 and Jaden Campbell says, I want this much money, the Titans say, look, we've already got this tied up with Keano and AJ to the end of 2038. We can only offer you, a smaller amount. It would suck to see that day, but there is a potential that Jaden Campbell could be forced out of the Titans now. But that's looking on the dark side of things, guys. On the bright side, absolutely happy that we've re-signed Keano Kinney and only a positive for the club. Welcome in David Mercer from Facebook. He says, Jojo looks great in the centres. I absolutely agree with you there, Dave. He looked dangerous. He defended well. You can see in the last really few rounds, he's really starting to grow into his body. I think sometimes we forget how young he is because he's been in and out of the NRL for a while now, but man, he is growing into his body. He is powerful. He's becoming a man, and he really suits that center position well. Sorry about the background noise, guys. So I live in a 5-bedroom house, and the kids always pick the room right next door to play. G'day, Clarkey. We played well in patches, and the tries we scored were from good footy. We were just outclassed on the day. I agree, Colt. I will give us a C- for my assessment, mate. We were outplayed by a top four side. I don't think that there's any shame in that with where we're at as a club right now for the Titans. Alrighty, guys, let me move into my specific game review, and I will give you my thoughts on the match. So the Storm do defeat us at home, 28 points to 16. And look, guys, when we spoke last round, I said to you, we need to tidy up that 5-minute period before halftime and after halftime. We simply leak way too many points during that period, and it really hurts us. What happened again this week, guys? I mean, we concede a try in the 35th minute and the 39th minute. We can't be doing that. We're not a good enough side to be giving up 12 points that easily in such a short period of time. It's I don't know what the answer is. I don't know why this is happening to us specifically so often. I know it happens to every team, but it seems to happen to us every single week. It has to be between the ears, guys. There has to be something mental going on here where our players are clocking off or they're not coming out with the right intensity. So maybe the coach's message is getting lost pre-game or at halftime, but we simply can't keep accepting this. There is a reason why we are conceding tries consistently within this period and going on to lose games. It's round 13 now. It's happened for about 7 or 8 of those 13. We haven't played 13. It's happened for 7 or 8 of the 11 games we have played. It's really poor. I want to use the word deplorable, but I don't want to be too negative on this podcast, but it is consistent. It's consistent, and it is the reason we are losing games, guys. J-Lad from YouTube says 15 errors killed us. Kelly and Loffy need to tighten up their defense, and I would agree with that as well, J-Lad. They have, kind of flown under the radar the last few years with their defense, but it is an area where brilliant in attack, both of them, but defensively they can improve. Welcome in all the tags with AJ, my favorite boxing content creator, and he says, I think we are the worst team in that 10-minute period. I think you're right, AJ. I don't have the stats in front of me, mate, but it's really poor. And I'm kind of lost for words because I feel like I come on here most weeks with Russ and I talk to you guys about it, and you guys all get it. And we all talk about it together in the comments and on the Facebook groups for Titans, and nothing changes. So it's starting to get a little bit frustrating. Got a question for the listeners as well. I heard this one whilst recording with the great Andy Raymond last night. He believes Des Hasler is overcoaching the Titans. He believes we are playing too structured, and it's causing some of our best attacking players to really struggle for form. And I've had to think about that since Andy told me that. And look, I have to agree. I'll tell you why I agree here, guys. Now, we see Jaden Campbell return to fullback last round, and he looks absolutely exceptional. AJ Brimson and Des Hasler, whenever he's gone back to fullback, he's done very well also. Keanu Kinney, of course, he was our best player last year at fullback. Where am I going with this, guys? Fullback is the only position in rugby league that allows natural freedom, right? If you're the fullback and you pass, no one says anything. If you're the fullback and you do a short kick, no one says anything. If you're the fullback and you run, no one says anything. But if you do that in the halves or in another position that isn't allowed that natural freedom, you come under the microscope. So I just think outside of our fullbacks over the past 2 or 3 years now, it's the rest of our team has really struggled, and it could be Des is just not allowing enough natural freedom. We look so structured, guys. It's Tino worrying about when he needs to offload rather than running hard. It's Kieran Foran trying to get us to a specific place on the field to put a kick in on 5th, to get that kick to a specific target. We just look too structured. If there's one thing we can learn from the Roosters, who are going not too bad this year, look at them last night against the Raiders, 65% completion rate, and they were still in the game with the Raiders. Why? Because they were always attacking, they weren't playing structured football, and they were willing to throw it around. And that allows their X-factor players like James Tedesco, Mark Nawaqanitawase, Daniel Tupou, etc. to shine. I just think Des needs to really just release the reins a little bit, take a step back, Des, and just let this team play some footy. If we let our team play some footy, we don't have the most conventional spine in the competition, but we do have a powerful forward pack, and we can play behind that and get a rolling with offloads, tackle breaks, and unpredictable play. But how we are playing right now is far too restrictive for not only a young and inexperienced side, but also a side that needs points. Because let's face it, our defense, it's not up to scratch. We've probably conceded the most points of any side this year. I haven't checked that, but I wouldn't hesitate to say I'm correct there. So for me, guys, I'm really running out of different ways I can analyze each loss for you guys each week. On top of that, I am running out of ways to remain positive because we need to change something. And I need to be positive on this podcast, and I don't mean to assert my opinion over the coaching staff, because obviously they're going to know more than football than I ever will. It's only my opinion, guys. But am I wrong to say this? Am I crazy? It's round 13 and we're regressing, and every other team is improving. The Eels, the Panthers, their sides that have been below us on the ladder. The Knights, we have 2 wins over the Knights, and they're on the same points as us. We are just doing the same thing every week, and we're not going to improve by doing that. We really aren't. We're 13 rounds into the season now. If it was round 4 and I was saying this, I completely would expect you guys to come at me and say, relax, it's early days. We're halfway through the season, guys, and we haven't improved in fundamental areas. In fact, you can debate that we've actually regressed. So it's tough. It really is tough. J-Lad says, do you think we're going backwards under Des? It's tough because we don't have another coach to measure it against. Like I did read today, Brad Arthur has been shopped to us by his management, but we don't know how we'd look under Brad Arthur. We thought we were going backwards under Justin Holbrook. We brought in Des. We haven't improved too much, so it's a difficult there. Mel, welcome to the show, mate. They confirm that we have conceded the most points. And let's move on to this game specifically again, guys. Look, I just think we're off the pace for a lot of it. It's as simple as that. Now, the Sam Verrills no try, that is, of course, going to be a contentious decision. I thought it was the correct decision, though, guys. I'm going to be real with you. As a Titans fan, I could use this as an excuse. As a content creator that represents the Titans, I could use this as an excuse. But for me, Tino does take a step forward. Now, typically taking a step forward after you play the ball, completely fine. But because we were on the try line, by him taking a step forward, it does disadvantage the defenders because he goes right into their path. So it was a really tight call. You could probably say we're unlucky because it was sent up as a try. But if you want my personal opinion, I think that was the right decision. I do think that the Melbourne Storm were impeded by Tino taking that step forward. For me, though, it probably wasn't a sin bin, but their players were laying all over the ruck, essentially to stop that from happening so we couldn't take the quick scoot. So there's arguments for a professional foul there. You can rule it 100 different ways. Let's just say this. The fact we concede a full field try 2 tackles later, that says it all, guys. We can't do that. We can't go from scoring under the posts to allowing them to score the complete other way. Really, really disappointing stuff. Same issues with our bench rotation, guys. Same key areas where, we're conceding tries in those key periods. And I don't know what else to say. I feel like I have said it all. I really do. I feel like I've said it all. I feel like we need change. And if we do have change, I still believe in this team. We're not that far out of the 8. It's not impossible to make a run. But it's round 13. And if we keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, I just don't think we're going to get any results, guys. So we do need to change some stuff there. On to our 3-2-1s, guys. My 3 points goes to Jaden Campbell. Thought he was electric out the back. Really loved his efforts. And then my number 2 points goes to Tino for Asamoah-Aui. Brilliant in the middle there whilst backing up from State of Origin. No doubt he was sore. I loved his quotes before this saying that he wants to get back and represent the Titans. Really love to see that because we have seen instances of players in the past putting rep football above their club football. Not for our leader, Tino, who leads by example. So absolutely love that there. And my 1 point goes to Jojo Fafita. We touched on it a little bit earlier in the show. Brilliant effort. Brilliant by him. He was really great in the centres. Russ has sent me through his 3-2-1s. 3 points for him goes to Jaden Campbell. 2 points goes to Philip Sami. And he gave 1 point to Tino for Asamoah-Aui. Alrighty, guys, it is affiliates recap time. Unfortunately, Tweed do lose again. They go down to the North Devils, 28 points to 14. Ipswich Jets, however, they do win. They defeat the Western Clydesdales, 42 points to 12. That means Jets improve to 5th on the ladder and Tweed drop to 11th. Tweed standouts, guys, not too much going on there. Tukey Simpkins had 28 tackles for 0 missed, where I'm starting to really like his defense. He was known as more of an attacking player last year in the Queensland Cup with offloads and tackle breaks. The last 2 weeks, he's led the tackle count for Tweed, and now he's gone out and made 28 for 0 misses. So really great performance there by Tukey. And for the Jets, Alan Fitzgibbon, he scored a double. Everyone else was pretty quiet in reserves. If you guys aren't tracking as well, there is a new NRLQ under-20s competition. We will feature in that against the other 3 Queensland sides. Unfortunately, we did lose to the Dolphins, 40 points to 22. Oscar LaFranchi, that is the son of Anthony, a former Titans legend in himself. He scored from the interchange, so nice to see there. But the most concerning thing coming out of this under-20s game, guys, is we were up 12-0 at halftime. We went on to concede 40 points in the second half. Now, we're not going to be too rough on the young fellas because they are only 20-year-olds, and we do have a few nice standouts in that side, such as Cooper By, Sam Stevenson, Zane Harrison, etc. But yeah, 40 points in the second half, obviously not ideal. Alrighty, guys, our next segment of the show every week is any changes to the team. Now, I'm going to ask you guys that are listening to us live right now, type in your changes. 12-4 at the half, AJ said. So close, but regardless, horrible to concede that many points in the second half. Colt from YouTube says, is there any players coming through the affiliates that are close to getting a gig in reserve in first grade? I think Zane Harrison in the future, Sam Stevenson, and Cooper By, those three names I said before, Colt, but I haven't heard of too many other young guns, for lack of a better term, knocking down the door and really pressing their claims. Alrighty, guys, our next segment is changes to our team from the Storm game. What changes do we want to see? I want to see you guys type them in the comments, and I'll try to bring some up. Getting a lot of love from YouTube. Thank you very much, guys, for rolling in those comments. And I'll go ahead and read you my 1 to 17, guys, because I think we need changes. I really do. Alrighty, number 1 for me, Jaden Campbell. Let's just leave him there for now. That's where he played well last week. Let's not mess with that. Let's keep him there. My wingers, I'm going to Lofiana Khan-Pereira and Alan Fitzgibbon. For the reasons I said before, guys, if we want to get structured and we want to play for set completions and kick to corners and do all the traditional football stuff, we're going to lose most weeks. Having those on the wings gives us 2 of the fastest players in the league. It gives us, like when we had Kevin Gordon and David Mead, genuine spark out wide. My centers are going to be Jojo Fafita and Philip Sami. Philip, I've got him there over Brian Kelly because he can come in and do a lot of the hard work. And Lofiana Khan-Pereira and Fitzgibbon don't have the strongest hit-ups and starts to set. So that would be Sammy's job there. Jojo, I think he picks himself. My 6 is going to be Kieran Foran, and my 7 is going to be Thomas Weaver. Let's just give them a few games together, see where we get with that, in my opinion. AJ Brimson, I suspect he would still be unavailable due to that concussion. But, of course, he'll come back as soon as he's ready. And I think you move Kieran to 7, AJ to 6 in that regard. My front row is Tino, Chris Randall, and Moeki Fotuaika. Now, Chris Randall at hooker, let me get to that, guys, in a second, because I do have Verrills on the side also. My back rowers are Bo Firma, and Dave Fafita is due back this week, and I'm going to play Cleese Haas at lock to start. Alrighty, guys, my bench, Sam Verrills, Regan Campbell-Gillard, Jamin Jolliffe, and Tukey Simpkins. This is the rotation I'd be looking for, guys. Sam Verrills on after 20 minutes. That moves Chris Randall to lock, and Cleese to the bench. So Cleese starts for 20 minutes. His role is to defend hard and do those hard tackles, which he can do. Then he comes off. Chris Randall moves to lock, which we know is more than capable, and we get some attack out of hooker with Sam Verrills, who's fresh. After 25 minutes, double change. Jamin Jolliffe and Regan Campbell-Gillard on, Tino and Mo off. Let's rest our starting props. Let's get Jimmy and RCG, who are more than capable, on. That's going to take us through to halftime. 50 minutes in, let's get Chris Randall off for a break and put Simpkins in at lock. 50 minutes, the opposition starts to fatigue. Tukey Simpkins has shown in his game he has an offload, he has a tackle break, and he has defended brilliantly in Queensland Cup the last 3 weeks. That shores up both sides of the game there. 55 minutes in, get me Tino and Mo back on. They've had the halftime break. They'll be raring to go for that final 22 minutes. That means Regan Campbell-Gillard and Jimmy Jolliffe leave the field. Now, that leaves us with 2 interchanges left, guys. 65th minute, Tukey Simpkins off. So he's played 15 minutes. That's 15 minutes to just go as hard as he can. Bring Regan Campbell-Gillard back on. That way we are finishing the game with 3 experienced middlers in Tino and Mo, who have slightly bigger gas tanks than Regan, and then Regan as well there. Now hold off that last interchange. We've got 1 interchange left now. Leave that for any potential injuries. But if not, sometime in that final 10 minutes, get Chris Randall back out there in the middle as well, just for another passing option. Guys, I don't want to see our current bench rotation continue. In fact, I can't. We had players last round used for 5 minutes and 4 minutes off the interchange. That's what no other team does that, guys, for a reason. We're only using our interchange to get Tino and Mo off to small breaks and get them straight back on. Let's actually build a 17 that we believe in. Let's get the coaching staff to pick a full 17 they believe in and utilize all players 1 to 17. And I feel like that rotation there, now it won't go down perfectly like that because injuries happen, head injuries, whatever it might be. But in a perfect world, that gets all of our bench players some game time. And it utilizes our players in the best possible capacity. E.g., we don't want Cleese Haas coming off the bench as an impact player. We want him starting and tackling. We want a double change where Tino and Mo both get a rest, but we're getting on RCG and Jimmy at the same time. That's awesome. We want Sammy Verrills coming on fresh and not having to tackle and do all that hard stuff. So I don't know if you guys think I'm crazy or you agree with me, but I just can't. I just don't want to see our current bench strategy continue. It hasn't worked. It's round 13. For the past 6 weeks, we've played a bench forward for under 10 minutes. What can I say? No other team does it for a reason. If Des Hasler and the coaching staff don't believe in a player, don't put them in the 17. Pick someone who you do believe in. If that's someone that you believe in is Jacob Arlick-Winkier, an under-20s young player, it is better than having someone on the field for token minutes at the end of the game for 4 or 5 minutes. We need to learn how to use our interchange a lot better, in my opinion, as well. Alrighty, David Mercer from Facebook says, Brian Kelly and Sami need a spell. Can agree on BK, Dave. I don't think Phil Sami has been too poor. Alrighty, J Ladd has sent through his team. Harley Smith-Shields in the centres, mate. I don't hate that at all. He didn't play last week in reserve grade, so just have to check what was the reason for that there. But yeah, Harley Smith-Shield could definitely be an option for us there. And Colt says, yeah, it probably makes sense with our lapses, not utilising the bench properly. Absolutely, Colt. Like, we can't just accept that this is the way it's going to be. We're just going to lose games. Our coaching staff need to sit down and really take a look at why we're fading in that moment. And it could be, as you've suggested, the bench rotation not being utilised properly. In fact, I think that's the best explanation I've seen anyone offer as to why we fade out of contests late and early in the first half. So, yeah, we need change. It's as simple as that, guys. I'm going crazy here saying it. I can see people on YouTube saying, have you tried meditating? Insomnia's final boss. Yeah, I mean, that's just how I'm feeling, guys. It's absolutely how I'm feeling in regards to this. Alrighty, game preview time, guys. We are versing the Broncos this Saturday at 7:35 p.m. at Suncorp Stadium. I think this is a winnable game for us, guys. I really do. Provided we make some changes and we refresh things up a little bit to revitalise the belief around the club. That includes the players, coaching staff, and supporters. In my opinion, if we go into this game with the same 17, with the same attitude, with the same bench rotation, we probably will lose to the Broncos, right? Because don't forget, we did beat them both times last year. They are certainly looking for revenge, and they've also only had 2 wins from their past 6 games. So we can expect a response from the Broncos reasonably. And this is certainly not a game where, although they're out of form, it's not like we're in form and we're coming in, we can take this one lightly. We need to throw everything we've got at it. Now, the blueprint for beating the Broncos, guys, let me break down my key to victory in this one. It's to control Patrick Carrigan and Payne Haas. Off the back of that, guys, the rest of their forward pack doesn't generate any momentum. Kobe Hetherington isn't able to shift the ball. Jordan Ricky isn't able to break tackles. Everything the Broncos do well as a club comes off the back of those two really gaining that ascendancy and momentum up the middle for them. Now, you can stop that one of 2 ways. Either through a kicking game, which is what we saw with Daly Cherry Evans last round, or with your forward pack being more physical and out-competing them in the small areas that all begin to add up. The pathway for us is the latter, without a doubt. I don't think Kieran Foran or Tom Weaver have the kicking game that Daly Cherry Evans shown in his blueprint on how to beat the Broncos, so we need to start with our forwards. Our forwards will determine whether we win this game or not. For me, it's as simple as that. If our forwards can contain and control Patrick Carrigan and Payne Haas, and when I say that, I'm not meaning to shut them down completely. I don't think that's possible. They are still quality players. But if we can at least contain their impact and their stats on this game, then we can beat the Broncos here at Suncorp. We've done it before. We can do it again. And I really, really hope that we do beat them, guys, because they're completely out of form. A lot of people online saying they're in shambles. So if they come out and beat us, that'd be a really tough pill to swallow. So I do have us winning this one. We have only got 3 wins this season. It's round 13. We are approaching do or die time. I believe our coaching staff will make some adjustments. They need to. And if we do that, then I think we can win this game. With it being a rivalry game as well, rather, I think it's an easy one to get up for. So I'll be really disappointed if we don't have a strong effort in showing in this one. Alrighty, guys, that will go ahead and do the Gold Coast Titans Frontline podcast for the week. Thank you so much for joining us here live. We appreciate whether you're listening here live with us or listening later on YouTube or as a podcast. It all means the same to us, and we appreciate your assistance in growing the Frontline and supporting the Gold Coast Titans, the club that we all do love. Alrighty, guys, let's get behind the Titans this round. And, of course, we'll be back next Monday at 5:30 p.m. live in all the same places, and we hope you can join us then also. Alrighty, guys, thank you very much. I'll see you